We'll get going. It is now 7 o'clock, February 26th. We'll commence the open meeting of the Dartmouth Planning Board with a roll call vote. Margaret Sweet,
Yeah.
Kevin Estes,
Here.
Kevin Mello,
Here.
and Chris O'Neill is here, and Nick Psychopatis is absent today. This meeting, as all others, is being recorded. Administrative items. First thing up on the agenda is approval not required plan PANR 24-30 Commerce Way, Assessors Map 61, Lot 5-17. Christine?
So this first one is another one of the Commerce Way ones, like you had said. Rich Rayoma of Prime Engineering has brought it before us. And basically what it is doing is taking a small triangle piece south of on solid ground, and it's transferring it to one of the properties that abuts Reed Road. We had Mr. Rayom make a couple of changes to the plan to clarify on the Mylar. He did notify us on Friday that the Mylar would not be in. He had somebody from Florida working on the survey pieces of it, so we were getting the Mylar shipped to us for signatures, so I will let you know when it came in, when it comes in, but I can tell you that all of the changes that we requested have been made.
Mhm.
And I don't know if you have anything specific with regards to this one. This is
No.
kind of down off of the cul-de-sac.
Yep.
Um,
I have no questions. Any of the members?
No, I just have a question on whose signature is that, Christine?
So it's the surveyor that he has. I
Do you
think
know who?
it's Chris Bean or something. I'm sorry, I can't see it now. I had
That's
looked at
okay.
it before. I
All
have
right.
seen him use that one before.
Well, it could be Chris Bean. That looks like it's Chris Bean, maybe.
Underneath it says,
I know that the
James Larson. The stamp is James Larson.
Larson, yes, okay.
That doesn't look like Larson. All right.
Well, the stamp is Larson too, though, right? I can tell you that there has been, recently there have been some issues, with recordings. At the, Registry of Deeds, because during COVID, they had allowed everybody to use a stamp and, like not a signature, but it could be a stamp of a signature. They've gotten away from that now. They want all wet stamps and wet signatures. So the one I get in the office, we will review it to make sure that it's got that on it. I can't tell until I get the Mylar, and I don't want them turning in the Mylar until we make sure that they've got all the right things on them.
Right.
So we're kind of in a catch on it. I can also tell you on this one, Ross was looking up things on Friday to see with Commerce Way, because obviously there have been so many changes like we've all talked about. There was something else recorded on Friday. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was an A&R or what it was in relation to this. I thought Richard was going to be on to ask him that. I mean, so I will just let you know with that one as well, when it comes up.
How are we making out with the pump place? Wasn't that really the last real,
The which one?
glitch?
I'm sorry.
was it American Well and Pump?
So
Is
they
that
are gone
settled?
through. We have another one now that's coming that I will talk to you about at the end of the meeting that I'm going to bring forward to you.
Okay, so they're all set at this time.
Technical review, yes. American Pump and Well is all set.
Okay,
All right. If there are no other questions or comments, accept.
I make a motion that we approve the ANR as presented.
Okay. Motion made by Kevin Mello. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Kevin Estes. Kevin Mello,
Yes.
Kevin Estes,
Yes.
Margaret Sweet,
Yes.
and Chris O'Neill is yes.
So like I said, I will let you know when it's in the office and once I've had a chance to verify. And then you can come in and endorse it.
Okay, so you'll keep a keen eye on what actually comes in.
Yep. Yes.
Okay, agenda item number 2, release of surety, PSUR 24-1, Salt Wind Acres, Assessors Map 23, Lot 31, Christie.
So this one here, I thought we were going to have Mr. Spindler on. I received an email from him over the weekend again. His first email came in, maybe like a week or two ago, requesting that his full surety be released. I got an estimate from DPW on February 7th. They said that there are still two outstanding items which need to be taken care of. So one is the roadway as-built and the other is the certification of the bounds letter. If you remember correctly, Mr. Spindler had his engineer come before the board to reduce the number of bounds that was required, which you did do. As it stands now, DPW is recommending that you still continue to hold $5,300. Mr. Spindler's email over the weekend was that he is having trouble getting in contact with CEC, which is the former SciTech. I gave him a couple of contacts that I suggested he call. He informed me today that he would be reaching out to the administrative officer there, or the head person at CEC. He also is supposedly reaching out to Mr. Giosa, I guess. Maybe I had suggested that he is still around and still doing things, although, you know, on a limited basis, so he might have the pieces to finish this up. So based upon these two things, I would recommend that you not release the whole amount as requested, but instead that you release $9,706.98, and that you would leave in a balance of 5936, which that includes the contingency and the engineering and annual percentage things.
Okay.
To ensure we don't end up in a place like we did before with Gendro Estates.
Mhm. Anyone, let me block that out. I'm not seeing anyone else online, Christine. You
No,
don't have
there's no
anybody-
one else.
No waiting areas either, right?
No, that's what they
Okay.
can't do, waiting areas anymore,
Yeah.
so everybody would be right up here now.
Okay, good. My only opinion is that the roadway as built is a requirement. We stick to it. I have no other questions on this one. Any other questions or comments?
Nope.
My only comment is that I think we should continue to defer to the opinion of the Department of Public Works about what should be withheld and not withheld. And I'm okay with releasing everything that's left, but absolutely not anything that DPW thinks should be held.
Mhm. So Christine, when you do talk to Mr. Spindler, just make sure that, I don't want him to get stuck in limbo either, you know? If he can't get in touch with someone to get the as-built actually completed, then that's unfair to him. I'm not sure why he's trying to get in touch with the DPW, because it seems like he's just trying to get the as-built done. It looks
Right.
like.
I don't think I don't think he has to reach out to DPW at this point. They gave their estimate. It is what it is. Those are what the requirements are. I can tell you, like I said, I pointed him in the direction of some people at CEC that I recommended that he get in contact with.
Okay, good.
I can reach out as well after, you know, I mean, if you want me to follow up on it, just to say that, you know.
No,
So-
I think the recommendation is good. I just didn't want us to leave him in limbo and not be able to get this.
Yeah, I don't think, you know, a couple of days, I mean, everybody, some of these engineers appear to be very short-staffed and whatever, and, you know, I mean, I think it probably can try a little bit harder. Yes, I mean, at the end of the day, we don't want to be having all these small amounts of sureties, but we've got to make sure we know where everything is, because we know from this subdivision that based on the way it was laid out and some of the things that were put in place, I mean, it's going to be subdivided again, and, you know, we can't have any problems with this. I mean, it's technically a roadway and we know it can be further subdivided.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's not like it's something that's going to stay in the family and all of that stuff. There's no guarantees of that.
Mhm.
So your motion should include, the amount with the balance, I guess, would be best if
Okay.
anybody
I-
wants to make a motion.
Any other questions or concerns? Or if not, I'll accept the motion.
I'll make a motion to release $9,706.98 and the balance of $5,936 to remain as surety.
Motion made by Margaret Sweet. Is there a second?
Second,
Second by Kevin Estes. Margaret?
Yes,
Kevin Estes?
yes.
Kevin Mello?
Yes.
And Chris O'Neill is yes also. Let's see. Back up. Okay, number 3 on the agenda, discussion, zoning articles for Springtown meeting, Article 32, percentage of lot coverage, Article 33, setbacks and accessory dwelling units. Christine?
So the first two are the continuation of those summary articles where we had found a number of inconsistencies with the actual articles and throughout the bylaw. So these are just the next and the last two of those that need to be corrected. To the 32, we've gone through and we've made sure that it matches up with that every district is accounted for and that it follows the same format and that we have answers to everything. And then for the setback one on 33, all we did to that one was add a table that someone in planning had done at one point for the building department, and then the building department took in made some changes to it and put it back in. So we just put it in a portrait thing, and then we added an additional table just down below it, or a continuation of the table, which actually addresses the overlay districts, because they weren't addressed in any of them. So they just kind of point you in the right directions to other things. So there's really no new material here in any capacity. In either case, it's just more making sure we've got everything covered and correct and accurate, because there were conflicts, like I had said before. So at the end of the day, for a Springtown meeting, there will be 4 of these, which will be Article 30, which is minimum lot area, 31, which is frontage, 32, which is percentage of lot covered, and 33, which is the setbacks.
Okay.
And then the other thing that we have is the accessory dwelling unit, that piece. We still do not have that from Brian. I have reached out to Brian. He said he will have it to me, in time for the next meeting so that we can, give you the draft of it. I have, at this point, in order to meet with the town clerk's calendar, kind of like the basic calendar, I have, advertised for public hearings at that next March 11th meeting. We might have to have a second one for the accessory, depending on how it goes that night with Brian. But he will be on that call. He's already got it on his calendar. And we at least will be able to get the other 4 all set and ready to go. And then if we have to go through the accessory dwelling units, we have a couple more weeks, we can do that. So there will be a total of 5 zoning articles on the town meeting.
All right,
for the
great.
spring.
Yep. Any questions from anyone or comments about the presentation so far?
no, it's a good job, understandable, very easy to read.
Yeah. No material changes, right, Christine?
No material changes. It's all just,
Right.
it's just just giving the information in a concise way, because what I didn't realize was, I mean, while these summary chapters have been in the bylaw forever, sometimes the building commissioners or the inspectors, they just go to that section. They don't necessarily, unless they have questions, then they go back to the specific section. But I don't know if that's the case with, with developers or engineers as well. So we want to make sure that they're correct. And
Yeah,
it does make sense to give them the opportunity to use summaries, but it's on us to make sure that they're right.
yeah, I like this because it goes along with our, initial push to make sure that this is, easier to find this information by the general public and by the business community. Those inside government in the building department may find it easy to find these things because they have tabs on them, but with the general public, it's a little bit more difficult to track. So it's good to have this all cleaned up. It looks good, Christine. Good job.
Very good.
Any other questions on this? And then what's going to be the process
So for the public hearing,
Yeah,
we'll open and close the public hearing, so we're gonna have these four items on it. I'm sorry, there'll be 5 items, all total. So the accessory dwelling unit one will be new. So we have those, and then usually I have to give some type of a write-up to the select board, to the finance committee. I know that the finance committee things are changing a little bit, so it might just be a formality to them. The select board, I usually have to go and give a presentation to them, so that we can have their support lined up, in
Mhm.
advance of the meetings. I go over the warrant materials with, Sean. We do the write-ups that go in the town meeting package, so they get typically they get the final version. Sometimes we've asked for lines, sometimes they haven't. We also get they get the brief description. So we spend the next couple of months going over all of that. And then the presentations at the actual meeting.
good.
So Christine, are you going before the finance committee or you don't
I
have
don't, I
to?
don't know yet because they changed some of the
Okay.
things this time,
One-
so.
Yeah,
I don't know if that was just for the budget, because I did go to just a separate private meeting with
Uh-huh.
one member of the finance committee and then Gary from the finance department, because they've changed that a little bit. So I'm not sure if I will have to go
Okay.
before the finance committee for this or not. I'll do whatever Sean
Mhm.
tells me to do or whatever is decided. So I don't know yet.
Okay, any other questions or concerns? We don't need to vote on this, do we, Christine?
Nope. Next time you'll be voting, so make sure if you have any questions for me that you would line those up,
Yeah,
okay?
okay, sounds good. Item number 4, minutes.
So these are just the minutes from our last meeting, which was January 22nd. If you remember correctly, the meeting before that, the meeting after that was canceled
Yeah,
or was postponed, whatever, because we
Yeah.
did not. So I don't see anything concerning with regard to these minutes.
yeah.
Move to accept, file and accept?
Motion made by Kevin Estes. Is there a second?
Second that.
A second by Kevin Mello. Kevin Estes,
Yes.
Kevin Mello,
Yes.
Margaret Sweet,
yes.
and Chris O'Neill's yes. Number 5 in the agenda, correspondence.
So this is mostly just all of the typical items that we normally get from the other cities and towns, regarding their public hearings. I do get them, they do get for all of our articles, so they will get those, public notices from us for those. We don't necessarily send them out for everything. Other than that, there's nothing unusual here with regard to that. I don't know if anybody has any questions for me. There was one thing, oh, I'm sorry, there was one thing at the end, which was part of a wetland, some type of a wetlands permit that came before us. It's just a notification.
Mhm.
That's for it was for McGregor is the last name. And it was a property in New Bedford, 133 William Street. But I hadn't seen anything concerning with regard to this either.
Okay. And let's see, do we need a motion on that one?
So you just acknowledge and file?
Move to acknowledge and file?
Motion made by Kevin Estes,
I will second that.
seconded by Kevin Mello. Kevin Estes,
Yes.
Kevin Mello,
Yes.
Margaret Sweet.
I have a question.
Sure,
Was
question.
that property, unless I jumped ahead, McGregor, isn't that on Woodcock Road, Christian? In Dartmouth? No?
Oh, the property owner. I'm sorry, wait a minute. I'm sorry. Yes, it is. I'm sorry, I make that
That's
mistake.
okay. Just want to
Yeah.
make sure that it's right, what we say.
I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm
That's
having
okay.
Trouble talking here.
Yeah, sounds like you're getting a cold or something.
Right, I hope not. Yes, I stand corrected. It got put in my, my file. So this
That's-
was,
Just to
kept
correct
this
the,
separate. It's still under our, but it is a wetlands notification. Determination of applicability, and it is 100 West Woodcock Road, and that is in Dartmouth. Yes, it is.
Right.
So we just acknowledge that we received it.
Is that a yes, Margaret, for acknowledging?
Yes.
No? Okay, and Chris O'Neill is yes,
Yeah.
thank.
Okay.
Let's see, what else? Number 6, new business.
So the first thing is, there were no zoning board of appeals decisions, legal ads. So we don't have anything for those.
Mhm.
Next is subcommittee reports.
Any subcommittees?
We had a meeting with the community preservation. And we went over all the applications. We had quite a few. And at that next meeting, it's gonna be, we've invited all of the people for the applications to come in because we have questions on them.
Mhm.
And then we'll take a vote on whether we're gonna give them some money or not.
Okay. I had charter review. I was on vacation. It actually got canceled and then rescheduled. So I'll have to go over the video on that one and bring you up to speed. In Serpent, I have tomorrow. Any others?
I have nothing.
Okay. Christine, planners report?
I just wanted to tell you that we finally got the surety release done for Mr. Lanigan for Dartmouth Business Park 2. His I don't know who it was, his attorney or somebody had been sick, so it took a little while to come in, but that has been released. He came into the office last week with a representative from the bank, Bristol County Savings or Bristol Savings. We're down to approximately $22,000 on that we're still holding at this point. So, it's a letter of credit in this particular case and
Irrevocable, right?
irrevocable, yeah. It'll come up again in 2 years. That's the timeline for doing this.
Okay, yeah,
Okay.
22,680.58, yep.
So that's that one.
Mhm.
And then we had technical reviewer meeting last week. We were supposed to have it the week before, but it was canceled because of the snow. So we had it last week instead. So we had 2 applicants there. The first one, we don't normally see like something that has to do with the street extension, but these people had asked for it, these residences. So we obviously worked with them to help them to do it. Because they ultimately will need to go before a number of different departments in order to get this through. So it's a piece of property off of Rogers Street. So they say it's Rogers in Columbia. I'm not sure because Columbia kind of, it would do like a funny thing to it, but they live on Wall Street and they have an abutting lot that they would like to develop for their children. They're not sure if they'll go for 1 or 2. So lots they will have to do some type of an extension of the roadway, probably off of, like I said, off of Rogers Street. So they're going to start with conservation to get the wetlands delineated and things like that. DPW was also made aware of this. Typically what we do for some of these things, I mean, they're always a little bit different, but they usually have to come in so many feet past the corner of the property, maybe like 50 feet or so, or 100 feet, depending on what they're trying to do. So we kind of have to just wait until we see what kind of upland they have. As to how far down they can go. They had initially asked about maybe coming in from Walsh and cutting across one of their properties to go into it, but that does not appear to be the best way to do it. So we're all kind of working on that. That was the first one. And then the second one has to do with Commerce Way. So like I had said to you before, Kevin, this is for the other tradesman facility that had been started last year. It's for Kudo Construction. It's down at the end of the cul-de-sac, not far from where we just did the property. It's in the property next to the one where we had just done the A&R. A new engineer is taking that one over. So he requested to come in and talk to everybody as he moves forward with this one. We gave him the comments we had given to the previous engineer as a starting point. So we'll probably be meeting with him a couple of times over the next couple of months in order to move this one along. There were a number of things outstanding still on this. So the other thing, we were supposed to have a technical reviewer meeting for this week, but since we had taken care of these two things last week, we don't have one. And then as it turns out, Russ and I will be going to a small conference tomorrow with the state for some GIS changes that we're making. It will be in Wareham for the morning. Michelle will be covering. And then we should be back on track after that.
Thank you.
The only other things, so I've told you about the public hearing. I've told you about the conference. Brian will be at the next meeting. I guess that's it, unless anybody has any other questions for me.
Christine, did you want to talk about that, the model that was discussed?
Oh, the risk
tonight?
factor. Sure, we can do that. So Kevin did sit in on the thing. It was rather unfortunate. The presentation I had seen beforehand was so much better than that one, but it's a new software piece that's out that's being used for a lot of climate change items. And with FEMA, the state is utilizing it too. So it's called Risk Factor. We will probably be implementing components of it in our analysis, because we do the floodplain management out of the office now. And so I will keep you abreast of those changes. The thing we're going to tomorrow too, it kind of ties in all of this stuff, so we'll be able to see how the state is going to be using them to, with some of these other things that they're trying to do. So they all kind of tie together. It is a private company, but when you see the maps of even just over the next few years, I mean, even if you go out to the 100-year thing, that's a little drastic and it's hard to tell where we're going to end up, but the ones over the next 10 or 20 years are pretty eye-opening. So I'll let you know again if another one of those comes up, because it's definitely worth seeing when it's done right. And then I forgot to, the other thing was, we had Margaret had sent the thing from the Dartmouth Week about the sewage treatment plant. So that article is in your in case anybody missed it, was in your packages as well. It might have been under correspondence, but I was trying to do it here.
Yeah, I got mine, so I'm
Okay.
sure everybody got it.
Yeah, everybody's got it. It
that's
just might not be where I thought it was going to be.
Okay, you good, Christine?
I think I'm good. Yep,
All right, I
just
think
about talk.
we've brought her right to the end of her vocal cords. So, any other questions or concerns tonight? Hearing none, I will entertain. Get you out of here quick tonight.
Make a
Move.
motion to adjourn.
Motion on the floor by Margaret Sweet, seconded by Kevin Estes. Margaret?
Yes.
Kevin Estes?
Yes.
Kevin Mello?
Yes.
And Chris O'Neill is yes.